Welcome back to the Be Fabbo Podcast. So a few years ago, I coached a woman who had finally hit the revenue goal that she dreamed of. She was booked out, her team was growing, and everything looked like success on the outside. But man, on the inside, she was feeling numb. She was tired, disconnected from the business that she built, not even looking forward to talking to her team members or even trying to move and change and find any sign of excitement. She had lost that burning spark of entrepreneurship. So in one of our sessions, she said to me, I really thought that this would be better. I really thought that owning my own company, finding financial success, building a team, I really thought I was going to find more happiness in that. And that's when it hit. That's when I really knew that through my consulting and some of my coaching, and even though I do a lot of athletes, I do a lot of female business owners. And to the core of it's the same. Even if the athlete, the female athlete that's striving to break records and find success and push their bodies beyond the norm, it's the same with female entrepreneurs. You know, we push our bodies sometimes even harder because the anxiety, the adrenaline, even though we're not training for a sport, we're training in a different way. We're trying to stay healthy. And both of those people are trying to stay healthy and they're putting pressure on their bodies, but they're pushing pressure mentally as well because there's success in both. And how they define success is different. And so when you're thinking about success and you're thinking, okay, I've reached my pillar. I wanted to be $1 million company. I want to be a $500,000 company. I wanted to be a $100,000 company. I wanted to win 5 gold medals. I wanted to set a record, whatever it is. And you've reached that and you think you've plateaued and you don't feel any better. And you think to yourself, wow, I thought this would hit differently. I thought this would feel better. So I knew then that through that moment that I'd always tried to be the coach that tells you the hard truth, not just to sugarcoat it. I mean, I want you to figure it out. I just want to be there and listen with you and be a sounding board, but I really want you to figure things out because ultimately, most of the time, you have the answer. You're just like letting the answer be held down for whatever reason. Confidence, mindset. So my role in coaching has always been, let's work on this together and find your strengths and then really hone in on your strengths. And then your weaknesses, let's show them who's in charge. And let's take your weaknesses and turn them into your greater strengths. So today I want to talk about that power of joy and that how it is something we need to aspire to. Because my friends, if you are doing what you love, it should bring you profit, purpose, and joy. So let's talk a little bit about why it's not just a bonus or something you stumble into, but it's a necessary part of sustainable, fulfilling success, however you define that. Because you didn't start your business to feel burnt out, overwhelmed, or constantly chasing more. And I know in today's world, it's always about do more, be more. And when I say in my thoughts and my empowerment mission behind, working on becoming the best version of yourself, it's that version that you like, that you're proud of. And sometimes I think as business owners or athletes, we get caught up into what everybody else thinks we should be doing or what the industry says is acceptable or when the sporting world, what's the stats say about you? How many races have you won? How many times you've shown up? How many times you've been on media? Things like that. And instead, it's becoming the best version of yourself is for yourself. And it's for you to be proud of who you are, your accomplishments, your failures, your stumbles, and that you got back up. It's all those things. Because again, if you're doing what you love, should it not bring you profit, purpose, and ultimately joy? Because that's 90% of the time why you are doing what you're doing. Is because you feel that it's your calling and it's just something that you're good at. And even if you're not good at it all the time, you're learning and you want that information. You have that burning desire to get better, to do better, to do more. But it's not sometimes in the context of if you're not doing a bunch of things, you're not succeeding. It's just that you feel that you have more to give, that you want to be giving more. So on the journey to the best of yourself, it is defining what is that more for you. Doing more does what for you. And when you're satisfied and when you find the joy and the purpose in it, then usually your clients, your family, your industry, your other coaches, your teammates will also find that you have found that joy because you are serving your purpose. So it's not just that you're burnt out and that you're chasing more, but you started your business or you started what you're doing for the freedom and the fulfillment and the purpose and the joy. Because a business owner you want that coveted time freedom, which is often overlooked in talks. And I always speak about there's more than the bottom line. And yes, I know, friends, that we need money in the bank to pay our bills. And we need money in the bank to do good with. And we need money in the bank to be able to give back. But it's also, we cannot forget how valuable time spent with those in our family, time spent with friends, time spent alone, how valuable having time is, and being able to be where you need to be when you need to be there because you can and because you want to be. Not stressed out because, for in my instance, my 89-year-old mother, I need to be able to go there and help for the first time in all her life. She's been healthy and wealthy and wise, wealthy to her own belief, nowhere near the type of wealth that we can put her somewhere and help her. But we need to keep her at home and we need to give her care because that is what we have been dealt with. That's what I have been dealt with. And I can't just write a big check and try to fix the problem because that doesn't solve the problem because she needs to be around people. She needs to be of service. Up until a year and a half ago, she worked 3 days a week at the hospice center because she's a volunteer. She's a give back. She's constantly, for 50 years of her life, have done service and volunteered without any financial recognition. But she shows up because that's what she's called to do. So now she's at a point where, she took a fall and she needed to have some things done. And if I had to continue working weddings every weekend or built my business where I had to be in my office or wherever I am for 9 to 5, or if I had a 9 to 5 and I couldn't leave, that would wear on me. And I know I'm supposed to be with my mom. So you really want to build in your business for the time so that you don't regret not having those moments spent. I have plenty of friends and I have plenty of coaching clients who have missed lots of things in their kids' lives. And then they've missed things in their parents' lives. And now those people are gone and they're left with their business and it's not even thriving and they don't even like it anymore. So the time freedom is really something that's important and where you're going to find joy. Because again, you started your business for time freedom, fulfillment, to be able to give and give back for your purpose and for your joy. And friend, guess what? You're allowed to feel good along the way. You're allowed to make a profit and have purpose and find joy. They all can work together. So I ask you, why does joy matter in success equation? However you define success, somewhere along the line of your definition of success, joy has to play a role. We've been taught that success equals sacrifice, grind, and stress. And I'll rest when I've made it, or I can sleep when I'm dead. I'll enjoy life when I hit the next level. But joy isn't what happens after success. It's really what's going to help you create success in a way that feels aligned and sustainable and lasting. Because if you're finding joy in your work, whatever it is, whether you're a small business owner, you're a change maker, or you're volunteering, whatever it is that takes up space in your day that helps you pay the bills or that helps feed your soul, joy should be part of that. Mindset shift. I want you to think, what if joy isn't a reward for success, but a requirement? What if for us to be successful, we must find joy in what we're doing because that's what brings us joy? We all know we started a company and we all know we started our businesses and we all were so excited at the very beginning and then we forget and we lose our confidence when one person doubts us or when one person writes us a bad review or when somebody doesn't pay a bill and then we got to be the person going after the bill. All the things that we didn't think we were going to have to do as a business owner, but we wanted to start our business and now we're hit sometimes in that messy middle. But that is where magic happens, in the messy middle. That's when you make your most impact. So what if joy isn't a reward for success, but a requirement? Joy fuels momentum. When you feel good, you will show up more creative, more confident, and more consistent. Because when you feel good, you feel like nothing can stop you. That mindset of, I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Passion and purpose together, my friends. That will lead to success at a definition only you can decide. When your passion and your purpose go together where you can serve people, that is an ultimate trio. That is a wonderful feeling. You're magnetic. You will attract clients and ideas and opportunities and communities with ease. You'll be able to work differently when you're at joy. You can grind your way to goals, And you can grind your way and hustle and hustle and hustle. And you can't continue to do that if you want to find joy. But you can grind, you can keep grinding, but you will not find burnout. And you will burn out. You will only find the burnout there if you continue to neglect working for the reason that you want to start your business, that joy that you first had, that excitement, that enthusiasm, that, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to start this. I cannot wait to add a service. Even if you had a business for 5, 10, 15 years and you add something new, be excited about the expansion. Be excited about trying something new. If you do not have this joy, you are going to continue to find burnout and overwhelm. And ultimately, you're not going to like doing what you're doing anymore. And your business and your clients will suffer. And if you have team members, they're going to suffer. And ultimately, you will suffer financially. And you'll lose that time freedom because you won't like what you're doing. And my friends, you won't like who you've become. So joy has to be part of your strategy. Why do we often resist joy? We're busy. We burn out. We wear that badge like an honor. We tell people, oh, I'm so busy. How are you today? I'm busy. When somebody says, how many times have you said, hey, how's it going? Oh my gosh, I'm just so busy. Or, hey, how are you today? Oh, busy. And now people are asking, busy and blessed, but they still say busy. I don't know that we should be proud that we're busy. We should be happy that our business is booming with clients. And we should be happy that what we have, clients want. But I don't think busy. I think blessed is great. Happy to be doing what I'm doing. I'm so grateful that I get to do what I want to do. I'm happy with what I'm doing. Instead, we wear that badge. It's almost like, oh, look, I've got 3 new badges today. I burnt out. I'm at the end of my rope. I'm frustrated. Nothing's going right. All these little badges, just put them on our shirts or our jackets and say, look what I've earned today. And then you feel guilty if you rest. You feel guilty if you say, I'm taking off for the weekend. I feel guilty if you feel guilty if you say, today I'm going to go to the movie theater, or today I'm going to stay home and do absolutely, I'm not going to get out of my pajamas today, and it's a Wednesday. We feel guilty. And we don't want anybody to think that we're taking a day off. We don't want our clients to think we're taking a day off. We don't want our colleagues to think we're taking a day off. Heck, when I had my photography business, 42 years, I've had that. As many of you know, I literally took off Wednesdays. And it said so in my emails. It's said everywhere. And I stood by that. I didn't break the value of that. Even if somebody was coming in for a one-day only event, I would find somebody to help them. Or if there was an event that I had to travel on, I went around Wednesdays. Sometimes I would leave Wednesday night. But even my clients and the colleagues around me started putting emails, hey, I know it's Wednesday and you're off. When you get back in your office on Thursday, can you tell me this or can you help me with this? People started knowing that Wednesday was my day off. And when social media became social media, because remember, 42 years I've been doing this, I didn't always have social media. I would post what I was doing on Wednesday. Hey, this is my Wednesday's thoughts. This is what I'm working on today. Or this is me doing nothing. This is where you find me. Mindset reset. I stick with my brand. I stuck with my brand about my mindset, momentum, and motivation and all those things. I just showed it differently. Instead of behind the scenes, I showed my Wednesday behind the scenes. Hey, this is me getting ice cream. This is Tina and I, sitting down with Ellie Joy going for a walk. Quick, short, simple things. But my clients and my colleagues started knowing that I was off on Wednesdays. So I was never fearful or regretful. I shared that I took off Wednesdays because it brought me joy. We feel guilty. And we have to stop downplaying that. We also have to stop downplaying our wins. I was very proud of all the time to say, hey, welcome to the BBP family, Tom and Susie. I was never afraid that you would look every 3rd or 5th post that I was having a new client. And I would talk about that. We cannot downplay when we're finding success. We need to share that and show others. And friends, I'll just be honest. If I do believe that clients book you if they think that you're busy, but I also believe clients book you because of what you do. I really believe that people hire people and they like what people do and they like your values and how you stand. So people would say to me, I won't elope on Wednesdays because I know you're off, but I'll take a Thursday or a Tuesday or another day. Or I'm planning something. I'm planning a speaking event. Can you come on Wednesday? And it's really hard at first to say no to the money, but it builds up that time freedom that I found, and I believe all of you will find valuable when you build that into your strategies. How do I have a day that I can be where I want to be, what I need to do? And on those Wednesdays, sometimes were doctor's appointments or me tending to something else, but they were still my days to focus on my personal life. Personal and professional development together can go hand in hand. So celebrate your wins. You don't need to shout it big, but don't be afraid to say to somebody, oh my gosh, I just booked another client, or oh my gosh, we're booked for the year. Don't be afraid to share that. Other people will always be struggling. Somebody's always going to not have much work as they want. Somebody's always going to, oh my gosh, you've got 75 weddings. I only have 2. You can't halt that and stop that. You can't downplay what you're doing. Now, you don't need to be conceited and arrogant about it, but you need to do that from a way that you can show the joy in your work. And I'm so excited to welcome XYZ to the family. I'm so excited we're going to be able to work with so-and-so. Show those small wins because they're what bring you joy. And I should be able to read and see your excitement in that. And then most often we tell ourselves, if I enjoy this too much, it might disappear. We're afraid of the good. For whatever reason in this world, we got to a point where if something is feeling good, we should feel bad about it. Like we don't deserve it. Like we don't deserve all the work we put in. We don't deserve our blood, sweat, and tears. And there will be plenty of people that when you keep sharing your little post will make derogatory comments. They will call you conceited or boastful. And it's not about you, friends. It's on them. So keep sharing, keep doing what you need to do, and keep working towards believing that what you are doing is bringing joy. Because if you believe that and you are living that, it will show that you are. So don't be afraid about when you get too much or you have too much coming or that you enjoy too much, that it's going to disappear. Stop that negative chatter in your brain. Joy can feel scary because it's also a vulnerable state. If I ask you to be present, and I ask you to stop hustling for your worth and to trust that it's safe just to feel good, that's hard for you to say. If I say, stop hustling, you're going to be fine. You're like, oh, no way. I got to keep hustling. If I say to you, be present, slow down, you're going to be, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. But that's joy. And that's vulnerability. And you can have joy and be busy. You can have joy and be hustling. You can have joy and be present. You can also have joy and not be present. How do you think about joy? How do you feel about joy? It's scary, but you need to have joy in your life and in your business. And that's a hard mindset shift when you spent years being driven by survival to find that perfect everything, to be perfect on all the lines, to have dotted all the I's, across the T's, that you have a perfect business and a perfect life. That is pressure or perfection. Because when we spent our whole lives being told this is how you do something, or you won't find success unless you do this, or you're not going to be successful if you don't do it this way. And if you're not out there 24/7, 365, you'll never find success. We've been told ourselves this for years, that we have to be going and being perfect, and we have to be hustling all the time. You know, a business owner who scaled fast but felt that success wasn't just another pressure point until they reconnected with what lit them up. They hustled and hustled and hustled, and they found success, and they scaled really fast. And it wasn't until they realized there's not any excitement anymore. Nothing is lighting me up. I don't have that passion. I don't have that spark. So remember that you can scale really fast and put all the work in and lose your joy along the way. And I want you to keep the joy. I want you to learn to keep the joy the whole time. I want you to see that joy is part of success, and that it has to be there building your strategy. And joy doesn't mean that you're doing less. Just because you're hustling and you're scaling fast, joy doesn't mean to do less. It just means you're choosing to create success that supports your soul, not just the stats, right? Not just all the spreadsheets and the Excel sheets that you're meeting all your financial goals and you're losing joy. I want you to still work hard and fast if that's who you are. Slow and steady wins the race if that's who you are. But find joy in doing both of those. You do not have to do less to be joyful, but you don't have to do more to be joyful either. Just choose what feeds your soul and what supports who you are and what you want to be over a stat sheet. Now, your bankers and financial people won't like that statement, but you have to be happy, right? You have to be happy, because when you're happy, I do believe you'll earn more. I do believe you'll find a way to be more profitable when you're doing it from a place of joy. Here's 3 ways to reconnect with joy in business and life. It's like an audit for joy. I want you to ask yourself, what parts of my business and life actually bring me joy? What do you want more of? What can you let go of? What do you not need to have your hands on daily? What can you delegate out? Make a joy list that you review weekly to check if you're building success that feels good to you, not just looks good on paper or the stats or that your accountant will life. I think accountants are people that probably tell you, find what you like to do for the joy, because most accountants are not happy people. But I do believe we need accountants and they help us grow our business. But I think when you start showing how much joy you have in your life and how much joy you have personally and professionally, you're going to start to see those profits grow. So make that joy list and review it. Find that building the success that feels good about you, but not just on paper. And then celebrate those small wins loudly. Don't let somebody else make notes for you, friends. Other people are going to talk about you anyway. They're going to say what you do and what you don't do and how you do it. Just do it yourself. Just celebrate your small wins, but say it loudly with respect. And joy grows when you acknowledge it. Don't wait for the big milestones to feel proud. Celebrate showing up every day and making progress and resting and doing something else other than work. Take those days off. Take that one day a week to do something other than business. Another creative outlet, a do nothing day, whatever it is, and you will be more inspired on Thursday if you take Wednesday off, and you'll be ready and really motivated on Tuesday to get things done. So celebrate showing up. Don't wait for some big grand check mark off or big milestone or getting the big note that you just succeeded, 6 or 7 figures. Celebrate getting to those 6 and 7 figures. Build joy into your strategy. Whether it's how you schedule a day, or the clients you work with, or the way that you want to launch a new service, I want you to ask yourself, how can this make me feel good? How can this bring me joy? How can this next service, or hiring somebody else, or dropping a service, or changing something about how you do something in your business, how can I make this feel good and aligned with who I am now? Remember, we all started our business and had, different ideas, and we get to this point and we might have changed. My friends, you will change. Your goals and your values will change as your business grows, as you grow personally and professionally, they're going to change. So I want you to really sit down when you start making some change and say, how can I make this feel good and aligned with where I am now? Joy can be strategic. It prevents burnout, strengthens resilience, and keeps you in the game longer. Remember that joy is not the opposite of productivity. It is the fuel for meaningful, sustainable success. Success should feel good, not someday, not after your next launch, not after your next team hire, not after your next milestone, but now, friends, today. Because when you build a business and a life rooted in joy, you create momentum that doesn't just move you forward, but it will lift others along with you. So this week, I want to give you a challenge. I want you to audit for joy. I want you to add one small thing back into your life or business that makes you smile or laugh and breathe easier. Then I want you to celebrate it out loud. And remember, if this episode gave you some value, I want you to share. Go on social media for me. Do that for me. Tag Bobby.Brinkman, and share what joy looks like with you this week. Share the newsletter. And don't forget to get on the Be Fabbo newsletter, where I share more mindset, motivation, momentum that keep joy at the center of your growth. I come to your inbox every single Wednesday, short and sweet, but it gives you some actionable steps to help you see that joy is a strategy. Because again, if you're doing what you love, say it with me, it should bring you profit, purpose, and joy. So do those things for me. Share the newsletter, share the podcast, and don't forget to drop me a note. You can go right here on the website, on the podcast, and you can drop me a voicemail. You can drop me a text. Let me know. Let's continue talking. And if you have questions, don't forget to do that there. Reach out to me here where you can. And let's talk about another topic or something that you want to be. Maybe you want to come on the show and have a conversation with me. That's what I would love, because the more that we can talk together, we can share. And I'm going to be bringing new guests in. I'm going to be going back to bringing some guests in because I love a general, heartfelt conversation. And I think it also helps love you, right? So get on the newsletter and you'll also find out about some other resources that I have. And down below, you can also find some resources, right? So that is why I really want you to go and explore joy, because it's not optional, it's essential. And why joy must be part of your success strategy, how to shift your mindset from burnout. Then I gave you some ways to connect joy in your business and your life. Because if you're chasing success but forgetting to feel along the way, then I hope you really take to heart what this episode told you about, with joy leading the way. Because if you're just chasing success but forget to be happy along the way, friends, I need you to feel good along the way. All right? Until then, remember you're Fabbo, exactly who you are and where you are. I can't wait to talk to you next time. Can't wait to see you. If you're out and about, make sure to follow my website. You might see where I am. If I'm near you in a city, come hear me. And make sure you walk out to me and say, hey. Also, do the same thing here. Reach out. Send me a voicemail. Send me a text. Reach out to me. However you want to do. Let's keep this conversation going, because I do believe that you're meant for all that's coming for you. And you deserve it. And you need to celebrate yourself in the most joyous way. Till next time, friends.